last night, Ivan Provorov was not participating in the Flyers warm up before the game. I believe he did play, which has been a contentious point for what I'm about to say here. He did not participate in the warm up because he did not want to wear the team issued pride jerseys. Obviously, the NHL have this really, really bad habit of having these really cool jerseys for warm up. You know, so Alex, where it's like the hockey fight cancer. Anytime there's
Mhm.
a cool event, instead of making full game jerseys, the NHL just make you do warm up ones. Anyway, though, Ivan Provorov doesn't wear it. Post game, John Tortorella does say some stuff. Provorov said some stuff. I have some quotes here. Gianna Han has a nice thread on Twitter. I definitely mispronounced her name. Sorry about that. This is sort of what John Tortorella did to open the whole saga here post game. With Provi, he's being true to himself and to his religion. So, timeline wise, Alex, of course, we find out the news to do after the game. We find out about the warm up thing from Tortorella. He's the one who first break this. John Tortorella said about why Ivan Provorov did not skate in warm up with the team. And when they wore their Pride jerseys on Pride Night, he was the only player who didn't skate. The rest wore the jerseys. John Tortorella said he did not consider not playing Provorov because he didn't warm up. He said he respects Provorov is always true to himself. Then, of course, they did speak to Ivan Provorov. They did make him available to media. He said, quote, I respect everyone, everybody's choice. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion. Said he won't go into any further won't go into it any further and will only take hockey questions. He did clarify his religion is Russian Orthodox. Flyers shut down any other questions. Now, a few more tweets here that I think are very, very important to bring up. Waiting for Scott Laughton and or James Van Riemsdyk. Just wanted to inject some positivity into the thread. Asked Laughton last year why he's so passionate about this being Pride Night. If he has a personal connection, his response was simple. He just wants to be a good person. And then from Laughton, another quote here. I know Provy spoke. I know Torts did. Me and JVR just got back from a room with about 50 people from the community. Sorry to hear the dog, by the way.
Mhm.
It was a great night, amazing initiative, and something that has been that's been close to me for a long time. I know Reamer too, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And then something else. I think we've had those conversations, and I think they're ongoing. And you know what? I think it's come for a long time or a long way. Those conversations will still happen. Everything along with that. Um, all right, Alex, you did tell me that while you're at the gym today, you were thinking about this topic. I'm going to mute myself so you can go on because Tubson is a very bad dog.
All good. Yeah, it was just I was trying to figure out how I want to convey my thoughts in the most appropriate manner, I guess would be the way I want to put it. It's just I I have issue with the I personally have issue with the scapegoat of of him using religion as the reason to think. Again, I'm not religious. I'm not going after anyone who is. I have friends and family who are,
Hmm?
but I don't. I just if you do some research, as I did last night and this morning, just more so because I was curious about the views on LGBTQ plus community by some religions. It's very not the way that it's portrayed. So I think to me, it's a scapegoat. To me, I think it's a cop out to use that as an answer, frankly.
Mm-hmm. You know, I am not a pious individual, I'll say, Alex. But you know what? I'll never sort of give anyone crap for their religion, almost
No.
on their faith. But you know, what I will say about it is, you know, the idea and what I ever hear about the idea of a faith in that and family and togetherness, right? I think a gesture like that it divides more than it does bring people together, in my opinion. And I think a good example of that is the debate that's going on, and some people being like the whole thing of his choice to do it. I think it's just a
Mm-hmm.
bit, you know, I'm just people can have their own opinions. I don't think we need to bring a light to any of it. But it just made me feel a bit yucky. I won't lie. I will say I think it's very good of Scott and Lawton to say what he did. Again, and Random Reams, like they're doing their stuff. I like that. And just to think of, I respect everyone. I expect everyone. I respect everyone's choices. That just sort of. Yeah, but do you, Ivan? But do you? It's just I want to believe everyone's a good person, Alex. But that just sort of again, I'm not an expert about Russian Orthodox and the religion itself.
Neither am
Hell, I
I.
don't know much about the Catholic religion, and I was, I think I'm technically Catholic, or it was I don't know much about it. It's not an area of my knowledge. I know too much about cap stuff, and in the league religion, I'm kind of
But that's
blind
the
here.
line. That's the
Yeah,
line.
man. It's like,
I,
hey, let's. Oh no, I'm not going to make a joke
okay,
there.
okay.
Yeah, it just, I felt like a little yucky seeing all this.
I also want to add. I always, I don't love it. I always laugh when I see the conversation of politics and sport
Mm-hmm. No, it's
because
never easy.
be,
It's never easy.
because you have to be respect. I mean, you have to be blind, or you not literally. Like you have to purposely block it out. Like it literally has been happening for decades. This idea that it hasn't been in sport until the last 10 years is a lie. Like it's a plain lie. And there's examples. The Olympics and the World Cup are prime examples of politics in sport. If you do the research on some of the bids and stuff like that, you'll understand that actually politics have been in sport for quite some time. So this idea, what it comes down to me personally, like what I've observed is what it comes down to is it your politics in sport? That's what it is. Like whenever the discussion comes up. So and I'll use the example, like some people don't like the it's not as contentious a subject, but not some people don't like necessarily the military stuff or the national anthem. That's a great example. Some people don't like it, right? Because it's been politicized.
So you like the people kneeling for it? The
Yeah,
anthem.
it's been politicized.
Yeah.
That's one group of people don't like it because it's not their politics. Now, people don't like this, but if whether you argue it's politics or not, I mean, I would argue it's not, but they see it as politics. It's not their politics. That's what it comes down to me. My observation. Politics has been in sport for decades.
I got 2 points on that. First off, I mean, some of the most famous athletes in history, part of their legacy is their social justice. There's a very famous basketball player and a very famous boxer who will tell you all you need to know about that to be, mentioned. And so, let's just ignore that for a second. It's funny that you mentioned the anthem stuff because this is not the first time. I completely forgot about this. This is not the first time John Tortorella sort of been criticized because apparently a few years ago he said if anyone protested during the anthem, he'd stick him on the bench for the whole game, which is like, oh, John, stop it. And that resurfaced after all this and in the hours following the Flyers game and that. I'm going to read you 2 statements here, Alex. One is from a Flyers spokesperson, and the other one is the NHL's. I'm going to start with the Flyers here. Quote, the Philadelphia Flyers organization is committed to inclusivity and is proud to support the LGBTQ plus community. Many of our players are active in their support of local LGBTQ plus organizations, and we were proud to host our annual Pride Night again this year. The Flyers will continue to be strong advocates for inclusivity and the LGBTQ plus community. I think if I know anything about PR, that's just sort of like, separating, that thing on Twitter. It's like my views are mine and not that of my employer. Trying to like the Flyers themselves being like, hey, we still are in the, they're all covering their own butts. And here's the one from the NHL. And Frank Saravelli has this if you want to read it. I want you to guess the first 4 words. Hockey is
Oh,
for
oh, yeah, yeah.
everyone.
I saw that.
Man, man, I love it.
Yeah,
Hockey is for everyone is the umbrella initiative under which the league encourages clubs to celebrate the diversity that exists in their respective markets and
So
to
the
work
so
teams.
let's in the first sentence they don't address what the controversy is. They
No,
just throw in a
I
random
don't think
thing.
they. I don't think Provorov is named here.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
So, yeah, Hockey for is everyone is the umbrella initiative which the league encourages clubs to celebrate the diversity that exists in their respective markets and to work to achieve more welcoming and inclusive environments for all fans. Clubs decide whom to celebrate, when, and how with league council and support. Players are free to decide which initiatives to support, and we continue to encourage their voices and perspectives on social and cultural issues.
Sure.
That is, if the whole sort of the Flyers and their thing in Provorov there, without naming him, is a view of my employees, not mine. I think that's the NHL's thing of also being like, it's not it. It's so it feels like Bettman himself would write that. You know what? Hey, listen, we say this, but the decision of the players isn't my thing. That's their
Hmm.
decision.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such an NHL
That
statement.
was that was the
That's an
most
all timer right there.
That's a classic. Violet in classic.
Mm-hmm. Man, and like Aaron Ambrose tweeted about this. Pierre LeBrun was talking about it. Um, Listen, man, I don't. I would assume that maybe I'm guessing this obviously isn't a policy, but I don't know how you also could if you could force the thing of like this is a team activity. Like here's what I just kind of love, Alex. Right? Is you know um Tyler Sagan famously, his relationship with the Bruins went south after he missed a team breakfast.
Hmm.
All that kind of stuff. And Ivan Provorov refuses to participate and not wear a pride jersey. And somehow Tyler Sagan was more sort of outcast by it. No, I don't know how his teammates, like obviously Scott Lawton sounds very not happy about it. It's just sort of, man, it's just hockey's for everyone. I love that line for all the wrong reasons.
If I had to take a guess as to what happens, nothing.
Oh God, yeah, I agree. Oh, you nailed it right on the head, Alex.
Yeah, I don't think much is gonna come of this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I agree with
Like
you.
I just like the thing we're not gonna change his opinion. Like all millions of us yelling at him is not gonna change his opinion.
No, no. Anything else you want to touch on with Ivan Provorov, John Tortorella?
Um, no, I think that's everything. I think I said what I had to say.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last time we talk about this, just because I doubt the follow up will be, as you say, there will be anything. But we'll be sure to mention it if not, because sorry, if there is, because man, there is if there's any sort of story the NHL don't want, it's stuffing like this. But